Welcome to the Building on Purpose TubeCast, where contractors share how they build with intention, purpose, and impact.
This is the Building on Purpose TubeCast. We're interviewing Jordan Perez here from Rescue Roofing and Exteriors. I always love your aggressive, awesome logo, man. It's so cool. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
that was I think our third design. So we had an original logo. We had our trucks wrapped. And then literally the next week we did a DBA and a new logo. It's like that was
Oh
a
my
whole lot
God.
of money down the tubes. So
Oh,
we had to have
I
everything rewrapped. All of our marketing material had to be redone. It was like, this is awesome.
I will
So,
never complain about our rebrand after hearing what you just said. We've only done two. Like
oh yeah, it
when
was
I
bad.
when I built Improvifi, it was this. I went in, I hopped on Canva, I picked a font, I
Hmm.
spelled out
Yep.
the word Improvifi. I took the little eyes, I dropped them in, and Improvifi was
Right.
born. And it took us a year and a half to actually get to the more, we use Kick Charge and they got a little cute little puppy and the font's nice and then it's finance improved or funding
Yeah.
fetch fed. Like we came up with a little slogan, but we only had to do it once, man.
Oh yeah, it was bad. And my buddy, he said, "Look, your first year of business," he said, "you were going to waste so much money." And I thought, I was like, "No, there's no way, man. I've been doing this for 15 years. I know what I'm doing." You're right. I wasted a whole bunch of money in areas we definitely did not need to be in. So no, he was right. So we're back in the boat now and rocking and rolling.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, thanks for joining all of us today. So, what we do is we record this, of course, we're being recorded right now because all
Mhm.
the good stuff always happens in the green room.
Sure.
And then we share it out with the world. And to tell a little bit of a story about rescue roofing, I keep
Hmm.
these super short. There's only four kind of things that we talk about, and it's all about you today. It ain't about me, which is fantastic because I'm normally am just sitting here always talking about what we do and blah blah blah. So this is
Right.
extremely refreshing for me to kind of dig in and meet some of our clients. And then what we do is we share this, we share it out on our YouTube channel, and we share it over in school. So hopefully, maybe something that you say today, Jordan, inspires or helps change somebody else's life that's in business and going through the many trials and tribulations all of us go through owning businesses.
I get it.
So I like to start with the very general question, which is, hey, and I've got it written down here because it's actually been a while
Mhm.
since I've done one of these. We'd like to start with like why, because obviously starting in the middle, what's your heartbeat? What is the why behind you personally getting into rescue roofing, getting into the roofing business? What was your big thing? What was your big why? If you want to tell
Right.
the audience a little bit about that.
So we had a very large hailstorm about 12 years ago. So I had just gotten out of the military, came home, like, okay, let's learn how to be a roofer. So I did that and then ended up really enjoying it. Worked for a couple of different companies, anywhere from the ground guy, got into sales early. I realized, hey, that's where the money's at, then project management, all that progression to where the last company I worked with, I was essentially running the entire company. Owner was pretty standoffish to run day-to-day operations. So, um, I'm sitting there making this company go boom, and then yeah, I'm only getting half the income. So it's like, nah, I think I can do this better on my own. We're a pretty heavily saturated market. So the biggest thing that we had talked about, and it took about a year, was to try to figure out, if we're going to go to market in this, it's a pretty small market. We have to have a huge
So Jordan,
differentiator.
where are you located? What
Yeah.
market?
So we're Knoxville, Tennessee. So East
Knoxville. Okay.
Tennessee.
Hmm.
Yeah, Nashville's the big market, and then Knoxville, it's an up and coming market.
Hmm.
But I mean, we're overly saturated. We've
Yeah.
got over 100 roofing companies in a small town. So like, all right, we have to come to market with
Mm.
something very unique, or else we're just going to get lost in the fray. So me and my wife were both huge animal lovers. We always donate. We always give. Um, we'll go to Young Williams or Humane Society and pick up a stray. So we try to keep two at a time. So we figured, okay, well let's see how we can make this work in a business model.
Ah.
Um, so I mean, and Hell, man, there's plenty of money in roofing. So, we came to market with, look, anything we do at the end of the month, we're going to take a nice chunk of change and go directly down to our local shelters and just donate that money or
Oh
donate those
man,
assets.
wait for my wife to hear.
Um,
I don't think my wife knows
oh,
this
dude.
story. Oh, that is so cool.
Oh, it's wild. So, we've partnered up with two of our main animal shelters, no kill animal shelters. So at the end
Okay.
of every month, like last month, they were doing a big drive. So we brought them a nice check. And then on a normal basis, we're bringing, 20 to 30 bags of dog food and treats down. And it's cool because, we get all the employees involved, man. Everybody's having a good day. We always do it on a Friday, end the week on a high note. So it's just, we coined that phrase, purpose driven. We're the only purpose driven roofing company in Knoxville. And it's definitely taken off.
That's
So we couldn't be happier.
I love it. And then of course I call this TubeCast building on purpose. And so
Sure.
man, you nailed it. We could end the TubeCast right now and you crushed it
Yeah, we're
because
done, dude. Let's go back to work.
I don't like literally building on purpose. You're building roofing, rescue roofing and exteriors, and it sounds like the why was really to kind of give back to animal,
Absolutely.
and that is amazing, dude. That is super super cool. So, how
Yep.
long have you been in the roofing space?
So I've been in the roofing space for about 15 years now. Prior to me starting my own company, the last 5 years I was working for a very good residential roofing company here in
Yeah.
Knoxville.
Okay.
Learned a lot. Every
Yeah.
time you think you've got it locked down, you learn a whole new bag of tricks.
Dude,
So learned a lot. Oh yeah.
every day I learn from you guys. Um, so you mentioned a couple interesting things talking about your why as we got to where you came up with the core concept of that. You are in a small market and it said it's
Yep.
saturated. So your
Yes.
differentiating factor has to be loud and proud and be real in a small market because people will read through that bullshit.
Absolutely. And that's just the start, because that's going to get us in the door.
Yeah.
That's it. That's going to get us an appointment. So, I mean, you've got to be perfect on every single thing that you do, or else again, you're right out the pasture. We're spending hundreds of dollars, all in cost on a lead. It's like, dude, you've got to perform. We're constantly looking at our proposal, our methods, offering financing. We just started that, over the last year. That's
Yeah.
definitely helped.
Yeah.
So it's taking all of these pieces of the puzzle and dissecting them and then working on everything.
It's huge. It's huge. Andy Lindis and I were just on we were on a recording. I don't even know what to call these things anymore. We're on them all the time. It wasn't a podcast.
Right.
It's with Power 100 or Next 100 with the Greg Cummings group over there.
Hmm.
So Andy's a big company, 35, 50 million up in the north part of the United States. And
Right.
he's got 36 sales guys. 36. I'm like going, I'm
How you
like,
manage 36 sales dudes?
I'm
Oh
like,
no.
I was like, dude, 36. And he was talking about how they're utilizing technology. But it also came up exactly
Sure.
what you just said. You have to do things in your market differently to separate yourself from the noise, from separate yourself from everyone else.
Yes.
How you show up, how you're prepared, how you make your
Yep.
promise, your warranty, your
Yep.
competitive advantage, your value stack. But nowhere in his presentation did he say, yeah, we're the cheapest in town. He's just like,
Right.
nobody. Oh, this brings
Yeah.
up a really good point, Jordan. The QR 500 list came out today because everyone's talking about it, right? On LinkedIn, and they're all very
Hmm.
proud. And I was thinking about the QR 500 list today, and it's always like the same top 20 every year.
Right.
And none of them, let's say the top 20% of 500, none of
Uh-huh.
them race to the bottom and are
Sure.
low. They are the most expensive contractors in the United States of America
Oh yeah.
because they are selling the value of what they do. Now, I don't care whether you love them or hate them. Leaf,
Right.
Leaf is on there, Chrissy
Yep.
McKinnon. Those gutter guard things, whether you think it's real or not,
They're still making money, man.
every year they're like in the
Hmm.
top 10. Like it's just blows my mind. And people are
Sure.
out there talking trash about them and, oh,
Oh, they're taking it to the bank, man.
dude,
I get it.
all the time. So,
Yep.
why did you start your company? I think you kind of already
Yeah,
talked about that. Like you're like, hey, I'm making this guy money. No, that's interesting though. Let's talk about it.
absolutely.
So you're in this market. Is
Sure.
that particular company that you worked
Mhm.
for and with still in the same market?
Oh yeah.
And how
And
are you? How are you guys? Are you do you compete? Are you amicable with each other, or how?
ish,
Yeah,
amicable ish, when I decided to leave, the owner, and granted they had a really cool going for them, one of the two female owned roofing companies in Knoxville. So
hmm
she kind of hemmed and hawed about maybe, getting out of the roofing space, offered
yeah,
to sell it. We had a couple of really good negotiations, and then it all fell apart at the end. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to go out on my own.
yeah,
So that was kind of it. We all still have to get along, but
yeah.
no love lost on either side of the fence either.
What a jump! What an absolute courageous jump. People are like, the sales guys jump and build it. That's
Mhm.
not just jumping and waking up, buying an F-150 and putting a logo on the side of your truck that makes you a roofer.
Sure.
It is.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of guys that try it that way. I mean, but it took me and my wife, a solid year worth of debating whether
Yeah,
or not this was the move to make. Because, when you're in sales in a residential market, yeah,
yeah,
or retail market, you're making really good money. It's like, dude, you're going to snub your nose up at that and gamble. It's like, yeah, I guess so.
yeah.
Um, but
It's
I wouldn't have changed it for the world.
yeah. I felt that. I felt that same pain. Um,
Sure.
I worked in the banking industry for many, many, many years, working for the banks,
Hmm.
and they paid me really well. I mean, I think I
They
at the
paid you to stay.
I
Hmm.
think when I left, it was like 350,000 a year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Jordan, I went to zero. I went
Oh,
to
I get it.
I went to I went to getting a home equity line on our house. Like, hey, we may have to use this
Oh,
thing to pay for our
oh,
bills
absolutely.
for the next six
Yep.
months. And we only had enough for 6 months. We didn't have like what we could get on the
Guys,
home equity. So,
right?
so tell me,
It's a gamble.
who would you say rescue roofing and exteriors? Who's your ideal? Thank you. Who is your ideal client? Like, who do you serve?
Mhm.
Who's your ideal kind of customer in your marketplace?
Sure. For us, just like pretty much everybody, it's all value. We're not going to be the big, the largest price tag. We're definitely not going to be the smallest. So the customer that can appreciate, value.
Yeah.
When we're doing a roof system, we install Atlas. So if I'm going to install an
Okay.
Atlas shingle, you're getting all accessories. I want everything done a certain way. Pipe boots, even down to something as minuscule as that. We only use lifetime boots. We don't even offer a cheaper option. Because at the end of the day, when I leave there, I don't ever want to have to worry about coming back over something small failing.
Yeah.
So it's somebody that's going to understand that and heed that over, okay, well, if I go over here, I'm going to save $500. Somebody that's, chipping at the bit over $500 really isn't our customer at
It's
the
not
end
your
of the day.
customer. And you're okay. You have your sales team and you have to be okay walking away from some
Hmm.
deals. You got to
Sure.
stand. I don't think enough contractors are standing strong on their value if they deliver. And
Yep.
because they get thirsty and they get hungry. But man,
Yep.
the moment that you start dropping price and taking things off the
Hmm.
roofing system is when you're doing an absolute disservice to whom you're trying to serve,
Sure.
which is your
Yep.
customers, which is just unbelievable. But
And the
like some,
big thing, and I see a lot of guys do it out here, it's not that they're thirsty, it's more desperation. You got a
yeah.
brand new lifted, F-350 Super Duty, you have all this overhead piling up, and then you're throwing Google a couple of grand a month. It's literally desperation. All right, we at
Yeah.
least got to get the bills paid this month. And it's
Yeah.
like, man, one of our big things is I incentivize all of the employees. Hey, let's keep it lean. If we
Yeah.
work our butts off, we're going to keep overhead lean. Then we have more flexibility. We don't have to be desperate. And then the big kicker is, hey, if I don't have to have somebody else help you do your job at the end of the
Yeah.
year, I mean, this year we're going to Jamaica. I'll take
Yeah.
everybody to Jamaica.
I
It's
love it,
cheaper
man.
to do that than hire somebody else.
Yeah, it sure is, man. And being on the financing side of this game and having as many
Mhm.
clients as we have all over the United States, it is
Sure.
heartbreaking when I see contractors call me and say, "Hey, Chris, man, we're not renewing with you," and I'm like, "Geez, what happened? Did I fail you?" Like I always take
Mhm.
shit. I always take everything personally. They're like, "No, we're closing our doors. I'm going to go be a salesperson. We're shutting our
Yep.
business down." And I ask them empathetically and curiously, "Man, what
Mhm.
happened?" And they're like, We just didn't have our profit margins set where they needed to be to stay in business. So
Sure.
listen, any roofers or contractors listening to this, I get it. You get to that. I've been there. You get to that stage where you're
Hmm.
desperate, but if you keep being desperate and you keep chasing that $0 sale down to the ground, race to the bottom, trying to be the most competitive and
Yep.
lowest price, you will literally, unfortunately, put yourself out of business and not be able to serve the people that you truly want to serve in this world and in this life, and
Absolutely.
and do the good things that you need to do. So, anybody listening to this, stay
Yeah.
strong, stay profitable. Um, Man, so you're mostly you had mentioned you're mostly retail in Knoxville?
All retail. It's backwards from like our territory rep. He services a bunch of different areas.
Yeah.
Where everybody gets consistently hammered with wind and hail.
Yeah.
And we've had two weather events in the last 10 years. So when you're getting into the retail side of things, there's not as much of a need. So you have got to be
Wow.
on your
Yeah.
game.
You
And I
guys have a
really
sales, you
learned
got a
that. It
sales
was a
system.
couple of
You got a real sales
Oh,
system.
sure. Well, and we picked it up from you guys about 2 years ago. I'm flipping through YouTube and I found that video you did with the painting company down in Florida
Uh,
with the badass
oh,
trifold. It's
yes,
like, dude,
yes.
I am doing folders. That is the end of it. I am going
Oh,
to leave the best presentation I can behind for no other reason. Nobody else is going to do it.
no. Dude,
Doing those little things like that, dude, it sells
I will
itself.
I will never forget Millennial Page showed up and the folder
Mhm.
was this freaking thick
Oh,
and he
yeah.
and he had his wrapped little Ford Escort, I don't even know.
Hmm.
And it had the paintbrush stuck to the front. It
Yep.
was bright. It had almost, and I was like, that's a real paintbrush. Now the paintbrush probably cost 60 cents from China, but it didn't matter.
Sure.
I opened it
Yep.
up, and it was this side was all about their value, and it was their reviews, and
Yep.
it was the homes that they painted, and go drive by them, and here's hundreds of reviews that we printed out for you. And then
Yep.
this side was all product. It was Sherwin-Williams and what we're going to do, and then the estimate was there. The thing that they missed,
Hmm.
they did not offer financing. So it was a small project.
Really?
It was a small project. It
Okay.
was a radiant barrier, Sherwin Williams
Hmm.
black. I wanted my tiles painted because we were selling the house, so
Right.
I needed to repair some tiles, but I wanted the radiant barrier, Sherwin Williams. It was like $3,600, I think. But I remember
Sure.
getting to the estimate, and I was thinking, what if I didn't have $3,600? What if I didn't have room on my
Hmm.
credit? I didn't have room on my credit card. How could I have gotten
Right.
this job done? And I reached out to the owner and I said, "Hey, your guy's awesome. We're hiring you. However, it's interesting. Why aren't you offering financing?" And they just were all of our
Sure.
all of our customers pay cash or credit card. That's just, and they've been in business for a long time and they did a really good job. I was just very
Yeah.
shocked. It was the best presentation I've ever received from
Absolutely.
any contractor. God, I hope I still have it somewhere. But yeah,
I still got the video. I'll watch it every now and again just to refresh on it, man.
it was so
And it's
good.
so simple. This
It's
stuff ain't
old,
hard,
dude.
you know.
It's old school. It's like showing up with
Sure.
the laminates that we give you guys. By the way,
Absolutely.
we've got all new beautiful laminates redone, so we'll be doing
Hmm.
rescue roofing and we'll send it to you. But anyway, it's old. Some
Cool.
of the we're in this AI tech world, so everyone's trying to do things modern, but it's some of the old school stuff.
No.
That old school stuff.
Right.
If there's any competitors to rescue roofing and exteriors, get off the podcast right now. It's the old school
Oh no, I
stuff.
encourage you, dude. Come on.
It's the old school stuff that sticks. That's the thing. That leave behind was like,
Yep.
I was just stuck, and I showed it to Tiff, and she's like,
Yep.
"Oh my god!" I'm like, "Yeah, it must take them
Yeah.
forever to make these things." But that's why I hired that painting company. Man, he flipped through that
Sure.
thing. They gave me addresses in my neighborhood
Hmm.
within 2 miles to go and drive and look at homes that they painted. Like
Absolutely.
rescue roofing and
No.
exteriors, retail market. Oh, you want to go see some of our roofs? Here's 10 addresses that you could do a drive by and
Absolutely.
take a look at them, man. I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
So
So
one of the things that we've
that's so
done, we
cool.
always try to do, like TikTok videos. We'll do production videos and finished completion videos, and we're constantly sending out that link via text message. Because hey, check us out on social. Here's 10 different roofs that we've done in the color that you're thinking about.
Wow.
But to your point, getting back to old school, I mean, man, we still write out handwritten thank you cards, and we get calls about it. Hey, that's cool stuff right there. And it's just, you do those little things. Now we did the mom's house. Now we're getting called to do the daughter's house. And then, it just keeps rolling down the line. It's like, man, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on Google. You just treat your
Lifetime
people
value.
right, do those things, and then you're going to get that residual business just coming down the line. It's
Lifetime
not hard.
value. LTV, baby.
Absolutely.
What is the true lifetime value of
Hmm.
every single person that you meet? We don't know what the net effect could be when you do the right
Oh,
thing.
sure. Oh, but if you do it all the time, you're going to be successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, does it really matter?
Do you guys have a roof maintenance program that you offer? So you go out to your clients, like let's say you do a repair. Do you have like a maintenance program where you go out to the home twice a year to check the work to make sure that the flex seal is still stuck down?
So that is on the short list of stuff that
Okay.
we're going to be rolling out
Yeah.
Q4 this year. We've got a project board, of all these things that we want to start getting
Cool.
accomplished and just building onto our company.
Okay, good. Yeah.
We just got into year three.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but, for year one for anybody, it's a rough year, but then you catch your stride in year two, and that, now we're off to the races. Now it's fun.
So year one, it's an F-150 used. Year two, you can get yourself a 250. Year three, you
Yep.
moved up to the jack up 350.
No, don't do it. No, no, no. Keep that money. You got to stay lean.
I
You
love
got to
it.
stay lean on your overhead. Because
All
then
right.
you can go out and you can do fun stuff. You can take care of your people. You can afford
Yeah.
to, have a solid everything, and not running your company on debt. I mean, we don't owe for anything in this company. Everything's paid
That's
for.
Dude, that is amazing.
So,
So, what is your when you hire people, do you guys have like
mhm,
a mission statement, a value? How is your what's your mission statement and value purpose?
sure.
What's that kind of like for rescue roofing?
So we didn't necessarily have to go that route. I was fortunate enough being in this industry in this market for so long. When I went out on my own, I started making phone calls, and I got to build my own dream team. So I know these guys right off
Oh,
the
okay.
rip. I know what they're all about. I've known
Nice.
these guys for a decade. So I mean, I got to build the perfect team. And then outside of that, we started networking within the community, going to
Okay.
networking events. We're
Yeah.
meeting people, and we're selecting the right people for what we're
Got
doing.
it. Yeah. That's awesome.
So we didn't have to go through any of that. Everybody knows what needs to be done. Our most valued role is the project managers.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
guys are on site from start to finish, and all I want them doing is just managing expectations with homeowners. Keeping them happy. Go grab them a chicken biscuit if you want. I don't care.
Yeah. Just
We just want everybody smiling.
That's so cool. I remember I was down, it was a storm before we moved out here. God, it must have been October last year. Anyway, down in Florida. I was walking by this roof and the guys were doing the magnet, the nail picker
Mhm.
upper, right? And
Yeah.
one of the project manager was videoing the
Mhm.
guy doing it through the yard. And
Okay.
I stopped. I was out walking there. I said, "Whoa, come here." He's like, "What?"
Yeah.
I
We
said,
need to hear what this is all about.
"What are you doing?" He goes, "We do a video of us doing this with the nails, and then we send
Mhm.
it to the customers to explain to them that we've done this. And if we've missed
Mhm.
any nails in the yard, or they happen to see any, we'll come back and pick them up." And I go,
That's solid.
so you're preemptively educating them that, hey, we've got this cool tool. We're showing
Sure.
it to them that we did the work and that we may have missed some, but we sure tried. And if
Absolutely.
they happen to find some, we'll come back and pick them up. And I said, how many people call and tell you to come back and pick them up? He goes, very few. And I
Yep.
go, why? He goes, because we showed them that we tried. And I was
Absolutely.
just like, the communication of, hey, we really did try. We really did. But if you happen to
Yeah.
see some, we'll come back out. And I'm sure a homeowner will be out in the yard and like, oh man, they missed one. But they know that they tried to get all the nails. Like
That's
those are
solid.
those little things. So the foreman sends the video to the consumer to say, hey, we're
Yeah.
closing out right now. You're not home right now, but we're out here doing this thing. If you happen to find any, just wonderful pieces of little tiny nuggets of communication with a homeowner. Can you imagine now
Absolutely.
that homeowner going, wow? I had no idea that was even part of the roofing process. That's part of the freaking
Yeah.
cleanup process to make sure that we've done a good job on your installation. So
Hmm.
now when the guy goes back for the 5-star review request, they're like, "Hey,
Absolutely.
when we met, we promised you that we were going to earn a 5-star review. Did we?" It's very
Mhm.
difficult for the customer face to face to look at that guy unless they really screwed things up. To look at that customer and say, look at the kind of, nah, man, you guys were horrible. And thanks for that freaking video. You know what I mean? Like, if you do those little things, man,
Hmm.
and then you show up and you do that
Yeah.
review process, it is so cool. So, you guys, we'll wrap
It's
this up.
just that easy.
I like to keep these things under a half an hour. Is there anything
Cool.
else you want to share with the community about rescue roofing and exteriors?
I mean, we're looking to grow. We've got a couple of things coming down the pike here in the next year. So stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. We're all
Awesome.
excited for it.
Awesome, brother. Well, we love you, man. If there's anything that any of us can do over here
Mhm.
to Improvifi to better the lives of you and the homeowners that you serve, please reach out to us. We're here, and thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey. I'm sure somebody listening to us today learned something that they can go back and put into their business. So we're all about helping
Sure.
other contractors grow their businesses too, man. So Jordan, I appreciate you, man, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for showing up today and delivering for the community.
Absolutely.
All right, brother.
Awesome, man. You guys have a good weekend.